say it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a villager tavern to raise your inner child. And for those of us who found it, that's what makes us Villager People! Hello and welcome to the Villager People podcast, recorded live at the historic Villager Tavern. I'm Brennan Sharp, and I'm here with my co-host, Andrew Perot. Andrew, who do we have on set today?
Oh, shoot. So we have the infamous Garth Barrick on the top mic.
Woo.
And then we have his friend, Allison Lowry.
Lowry.
Mike
Lowry.
Yay!
Come on.
Oh, shoot. All right, so...
They're already messing it up.
I know, right?
I'll forgive you.
Yeah, well, you know, I found out what her name was, last name was 10 minutes ago. But it's Mardi Gras coming up, guys. So it's the first time we put anything on the whiteboard.
Yeah, there you go.
So it seemed fitting. So how'd the morning start, guys?
Woo. Well, we got a dog bowl filled with
Yeah.
Miller Lite right now.
10 in the morning.
So far, so
So
good.
far, so good.
Is this when's the last time you drank this early? Oh wait, I think Garth was here watching one of the podcasts.
Yeah, so I think last time we were on it, I was stoked to get a beer. He poured me one and sat down and watched, and it was awesome.
I don't know if I have an answer for that.
You don't?
This early, probably a bachelorette party or something.
Bachelorette? Oh yeah,
morning mimosas or something like that. You know,
Is that-
never dog bowls.
I don't know anything about bachelorette parties. I've obviously never been to one. But
Yes.
is that what they do? Brunch happens every morning?
Oh yeah, it's all about the champagne, the mimosa. Absolutely,
Yeah,
yes. But this is special. I don't think I've had the privilege of drinking out of the dog bowl here yet. So this is I see it for the birthdays.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I've always tried to stay away from it. And somehow I'm here faced with it. I'm like, oh gosh. Garth's already making himself at home, getting down on that dog bowl.
That's awesome. I have the same problem with Krampus. Everywhere I go, I get my picture taken with someone dressed up as Krampus.
What?
And I'm like, why does this keep happening? I don't want my picture with Krampus. But
That is very interesting.
What you say?
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Before we get too far along, can you guys see yourselves in your monitor? Are you covered up by your
Oh, what do you,
microphone?
can you see, am I okay with the mic? The way it is?
Yeah, we're definitely getting enough of Allison.
Okay.
I'm just not seeing much of.
Do you want me to
Garth.
scoot over a little?
Or put the microphone down a tad, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, come a little closer
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
Yeah, come a little bit closer.
Come a
Garth.
little bit closer.
Yeah.
You're my kind of man. Yeah.
So how did you guys meet?
So Allison and I
This
met.
is a funny story, isn't it?
No, it's not. I don't even
please
know.
let
It's
it be
not
relaxing.
really. It's not that entertaining.
If it's not, then make it funny.
I know,
work
right?
on
I'm
it,
like,
embellish.
yes, exactly.
So Allison and I met through our mutual friend Alex Bertelli, who's in the audience right here, him and his wife.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Thank
Introduced
you,
me-
Alex. Shout out.
They introduced us out at Embers on a Friday night, and the rest is history. And I adore her and her husband, and they have become really good friends.
Thank you, Garth. You're so sweet.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, I didn't want to mention the other bar, so.
Oh
I'm
no,
gonna-
no! I don't care. But it's
There
actually
are other bars?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna brag on Embers a little bit. Embers was a spot that no one would go to before COVID. That
Right.
it was really kind of low key. You
Yes.
show up and you're like, all right, how long is this place going to be here?
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened. I guess maybe a new general manager or whatnot. Maybe
I know it was a slow burn.
the guy who owns it's the same guy who owned Mafiosos.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep, you're right, Mike Dolan.
Well, there's also
Oh,
Lars.
Lars was in the picture too.
And Lars used to work here for my dad. So I've met Lars when I was a little kid.
Oh wow.
I actually have never seen Lars since I was an adult. But I would go into Embers and it would be kind of low key and you just kind of wonder what they were doing with it. And then after COVID, they started having to do outdoor seating and focusing on that. And then they built that tower that's in front of it. There's like, they're happy. They have the best happy hour in town, don't they?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The 2-for-1s, they really like capitalized on that, and then like
we live down the street. We're in the neighborhood too, so it's been like the neighborhood hang with the crew. Alex is our neighbor too, so we all kind of have been going there for years and years. And it's the happy hour. I mean, that's a big part of it. The bartenders are awesome, just like here. It's like a family vibe, like everybody knows each other. And
yeah, I know. Sam still work over there?
Oh yeah. Saw him last night.
Yep, he was there working last night. He wears some of the most interesting shirts at the bar. Like he used to wear this shirt that says "I'm just a bar back," and
dude, your shirt game, bartending, a big part of like probably 40% of bartending is your shirt game.
Interesting. Yeah. I could see that. That's funny.
Oh yeah, like if I gain any weight, I'm like, crap, I can't wear that shirt. True.
I can see that. Yeah, that's a big part.
It's not that I don't. I mean, when I was just playing music full time, I didn't care if I had a gut, but when you're doing this gig, there's shirts, there's clothes, there's outfits.
Yeah. Well, this is your Mardi Gras shirt, is that?
This is my
There
Mardi,
you go. I just noticed that when you're saying that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
I pulled out another shirt. That's how powerful Mardi Gras is. I pulled out another shirt and was going to bring both in case I decided to go with black. And I forgot it at home. It's not here.
Yeah.
It just totally didn't make it off the bed. It's still got the hanger in it.
Yeah, it's a good spot for sure. We love Embers and we love it here. These are my two favorite places to go in town, really. So
yeah, no, it's
old school.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. It's just like the whole vibe. Both places are so warm and inviting, and it's really like a community center. If you don't come for a while, people check in on you, and both are really special places that I love going to.
Yeah. And so, Garth, when did you start coming here regularly?
So when I first started coming here, I was primarily a Friday, Saturday night guy. So that was when Scotty and Sarah were working in tandem.
Oh yeah.
First time I came in here after I hadn't ate anything all day, a long day of like drinking, and I come in and scream loudly. I scream at Sarah, "Do you guys still have food?" And she's like, "Yeah, we have food for a little bit longer." So I started coming here. And the rest is history.
So it's all about the food, huh?
Yeah.
Is that you were trying to find somewhere to eat?
Yeah, no, and it's like that's the hard part about Nashville, though. Like a lot of places after like 1 a.m, it's hard to find places that have food.
Well, there used to be. I don't know if you've ever. How long have you been in town?
So I moved here in September of 2021, so coming up on 3.5 years.
So you might not have been, and I don't know if Allison, if you've been to Athens, was it Athens Deli or Greek Deli, right?
Oh yeah, Athens,
Yeah, and they were open till 3, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the only. Yeah, when it was on 8th. Yeah, that was one of the only places.
Yeah, it was kind of like
that and Moff's.
It was like the homespun Waffle House of Nashville. It was.
Yeah.
And Athens, I'd go. I wasn't the biggest fan of the food necessarily, but people would take you because it was open late, and they moved over to Belmont.
Right.
They moved over to Belmont and then went out of business, right?
I was going to say I haven't been to that location, so
I went about 3 times and it was okay, but the vibe was lost, which is weird because
they moved into the old PM building.
Right, and PM had a vibe for eons.
Oh, I know. PM was cool.
Yeah.
I know. It just we were just talking about what's the dive bar we were just talking about
Bobby's
Idle Hour. Did you guys ever go to the one that was like the original on Music
Row? Absolutely. I used to work on Music Row.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like such a great spot. And now I know they moved it, and it's got its thing. It's cool, but it's just like these places are just not the same. There's like something about it that made it very special. And I'm like, that's happening so much in Nashville now. It's a bummer.
The whole West Side had that. The whole West Side had that like just mom and pop feel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Too loud.
Pull it. No. Pull it down out of her face. Yeah. Sorry.
Like, I do have a big mouth. So.
Well, I'm just afraid we're not seeing your face.
Am I good, or should I move my mic down there?
Yeah. No, we want to move it more. Just kidding.
That's good. I love it.
Anyways, back to what I don't even know.
We were talking about how different the the bar scene really,
Yeah.
or the
late
restaurant
night food scene.
the hospitality
Yes.
scene was
Yeah.
very different back in the day in the
Yeah.
sense that it wasn't corporate.
Right, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I believe that not in the way that it is today.
Yeah, no,
Not
you're
close.
right.
No, it's
I mean-
exploded. It's totally different.
I mean, my immediate neighbor, the business I look upon every day when I'm at work is a corporate chain of Ruby Slipper, which is Ruby Sunshine, which is across the street.
Right.
And it's a you know you're full of chain stores when you have across the street chain brunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like, oh, okay,
Very
this is a
chill.
bit targeted, you know.
And it's a sea
Yeah.
of chain brunch because you've got Ruby Sunshine and next door to Pancake Pantry, which is also a chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a local chain, but it still counts. And then behind that, you've got Biscuit Love and whatever they can stick into Moxie that no one goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's like, what is this?
It's built because of, I'm sure, the bachelorette parties and stuff. It's brunch. It's all about brunch. That's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
that's a huge.
I mean, look at Biscuit
thing.
Love. Biscuit Love is a huge
Yeah.
thing. Kevin
Yeah.
over here, my bartender over here, he's been working for Biscuit Love. But yeah, I mean, it is. They've taken Hillsboro Village, which used to be like restaurants and bars right next to the
Right.
college, and now
Yeah.
it's brunch. And 12 South is kicking our butt as far as that daytime crowd goes right now.
It
Oh, yeah,
is
no, it's
so
crazy.
They've expanded 12 South quite a bit. Like Gwyneth Paltrow has like basically a Walmart-sized store, doesn't she?
It's Reese Witherspoon.
Reese
No.
Witherspoon. I thought it was
It's
Gwyneth
both
Paltrow.
of them.
It's
Oh!
both of them.
Yeah,
Wait a
they're
minute, I
dueling
don't
it
know that
out.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's Gwyneth Paltrow?
Wait. There's a duel of blondes.
Well,
Yeah. On the
Well, it's what is it? James. What's the clothing store that Reese Witherspoon has?
Draper James.
Right.
Is Reese's? What's Gwyneth Paltrow?
She has an entire new. It's like an infrastructure right at the beginning of 12 South,
That's
where they have the
Ashwood.
roundabout.
Oh, the new
Yes,
Ashwood development.
Ashwood
Yeah.
is a development, so she must be putting something in there.
Yeah, if not all of it. Yeah,
Well, there's going to be restaurant. It's like,
yeah.
but she's part owner of that.
yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I like this.
That's some
scoop.
serious money coming in there for that. I mean,
I know.
There's supposed to be like a sushi place
Yeah.
or something going on. I'm like super excited about that, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about it so far is they built it right up to the sidewalk,
Yes.
and it's I don't know, it feels like a confined space now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Absolutely.
inviting, and that's kind of what they did with the Ruby Sunshine building right here.
Right.
I just want to say the last time we recorded, which was 2 weeks ago, at the end of the episode, we're breaking down, and the bar opened, and we had people coming in here, and somebody bought a painting I did of Park Crappy,
Yeah,
which is
that's
about
awesome.
a social commentary on the paid parking situation, and basically every I don't know, every nook and cranny within Nashville, like 5 Points, Germantown, they've all got this dreadful paid parking situation, and they're ruthless if you are a minute past, and it's just awful. And
Yes.
so they bought it, and I was honored because it kind of legitimized a sort of rebellious artistic piece, even though it's very cartoony and
Yeah.
everything. But the previous owner of Jackson's across the street messaged me directly and congratulated me on like the most like rebellious artistic piece I've done since a work I had in his building before it became Ruby Sunshine. And I'm like,
wow.
yes,
Very
you know
cool.
that's good when a voice from the past comes to
That's
tell you.
great.
That's
So
awesome.
what did you ever talk to him extensively about the parking situation?
I was hoping to get him on here and have him talk about it. No, I didn't talk to him directly about it.
Because
but
I mean, he was still there when that all started happening, right?
all I know is that for the longest time you could park at Jackson's for free, and then one year I come back from Chicago, and you get the first 30 minutes free, and then all of a sudden you like pay, and if you don't re-up like a minute past, then it's a $50 fine.
You know,
And-
people used to tell me like, the reason we do it is because people will park there that aren't going into the stores, and I'm like, no, that's not what's going on, because the restaurants and the shops and restaurants would never agree to that. What's going on is the owners of the property are just getting another kickback. They're selling the property for they're leasing the property in two ways.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
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 And then the stores just have to deal with it. That's just the whole point.
And that's kind of what happened. I think he held out for as long as he could, and I did talk to the McCabe's Pub owners before they sold, and that's what happened too. The thing is the marketing team is relentless in their pursuit of getting your parking lot and trying to monetize it. And then they apparently have an amazing pitch team that convinces even the most hard-nosed stalwarts into going along with it.
Well, it's, I get you're going to have to pay for parking to a degree, but it's so expensive. Like,
right.
I just went out to 12 South at one of the new restaurants, and I went to the parking structure, and they were like, for the first hour, it's like $13, and then the second hour, it's like $32. And I'm like, excuse me? What are we talking about? Like,
well,
that's insane.
Recently, and they stopped doing it, but they started booting people downtown.
Oh my gosh, really?
Oh yeah, like because they had a where they. I don't know exactly how this all worked out, but like the premier parking started getting monitored by this boot company that was in tandem with, and I think they also did the city stuff, like they at the meters they threatened that you'd get booted, but I don't think they did that. But eventually the booting was so out of control that they stopped doing it because people were just losing it.
Yeah.
And it probably got to the point where, I don't know, maybe the attendants who were checking the lots were like, man, I'm not dealing with these people anymore. It's like I almost got hit in the head the other day trying to take I was going to take his boot off, and he was not happy at all.
Yeah, it's a lot of change in a very short amount of time, I feel like, in Nashville, watching it all happen. I've been here since 2006, so I've seen a lot. It was
Where
different.
did you come from?
Los Angeles.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Born and raised in Los Angeles.
So now, were you technically, because you were, it's 2006, so like, the boom was, what, 2009, right?
Well,
after the flood?
It was starting to, at that time, a lot of people were coming from California because of Nissan at that time. I came out here for music
because
like
of
everybody
Nissan.
else.
Yeah,
Nissan was a big, like, they'd built that whole
News
Nissan thing, and they brought a bunch of people from California at that time, and it was like, that was the boom then. And I remember I wasn't a part of Nissan, but we came out here. My sisters and I were in a band, and we're the very typical Nashville story.
I had no idea you were in music.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I
cool.
came out here. And
you're gonna have to send me something so we can play it in the.
Oh yeah,
there we go.
We would have had you perform.
No.
Yes.
Just like in a land long ago.
Long ago.
You understand? When you retire from music, you freaking retire.
Especially the music business.
Oh yeah.
So over it. But and so anyway, so people would be like, "Oh, you come from California," and people were not happy out here for California. It was like a big influx for that time.
Yeah.
And it was, obviously so different. Downtown Broadway, we went down on like New Year's Eve night, and there was nobody out. And my sisters and I were like, this is so crazy. And coming from Los Angeles especially, and then now going from that to seeing what it is now is mind-boggling. You're just like, oh my gosh. So I feel like, I'm always a California girl at heart, but I do feel like I've gotten to, like, I'm a native now because I've gotten to see it since
the transition
to now, and I'm like, no, I'm part of that. Like, I saw it all happen.
Yeah,
so,
you did.
Yeah, it's insane, and I like it to a degree.
Did you stop telling people you were from California? Did you stop telling them?
No, I still always
like around 2012, she's like, I'm not telling anyone I'm from California.
Well, it's funny because I work in real estate, and so I was selling houses to so many people.
It probably helped you out.
Yes, and they would come in, or I'd meet them, and I'd be like, so where are you guys from? And they just kind of like cower and like not want to. And I said,
see that.
You're from California.
She's like, it's okay, I am too.
I'm like, I'm a safe space.
I'm
it's gonna be all right. And they'd be like, okay, yeah, we are from California.
You can talk about your exit story.
Yes,
with me.
exactly. So I'm like people, and I think it's grown so much here. I don't think it's quite as like intense of like when I came out here in 2006. It was kind of like, oh, you're from California, kind of get out, but. Now
they're seeking asylum.
Yes. It's really, daily. I was meeting people all the time. It was insane.
Yeah.
So it was like, come on in.
Was there a fever pitch to that?
It was definitely, okay, I saw the huge shift. It was COVID.
Uh-huh.
It was definitely, I thought I was not going to sell a house during COVID. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my gosh, we're in a pandemic. It was the busiest year of my life. that was when everybody was flooding out from all the different states because they were stuck in their house. California was so insane with their restrictions and stuff. So it was just like people were like, get me out of here. And people were sitting in their houses and they're like, I don't like my house. Like, it's small, or I have to work from home. And they're like, get me out of this house.
So basically anybody with money in the bank was like, what kind of big crate?
They were doing renovations or getting a new house. It was like, this is all I can do right now. Let's get a house or move out of the state or get away from whatever is going on in that state. So
that's what made us go we never went non-smoking in the bar. Because,
I was telling him this.
I coined it smoke-free.
Yes.
So we didn't want to ever do it before COVID because we didn't want to take the financial hit.
Right.
And then since we were just sitting there in a bar that nobody smoked in for 3 months, we're like,
this is the perfect time.
We're gonna take a hit.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose money. So
we were just talking about that, like when he was saying how you were like, oh, I never got to come here when they were loud smoking. And I'm like, oh, I remember
Garth
it.
would have loved it.
Yeah, I know.
Every second of it.
Every second of it. You have Rhonda in here while she's drinking a beer, just lighting up, puffing on the cigarette.
Garth.
Were the employees allowed to smoke? I don't remember that. Maybe.
I smoked behind the bar.
Did you?
Constantly.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I love it.
Oh yeah, I would just I didn't have to go outside. I didn't have to.
Well, that's when we started coming here more
I
often.
didn't do it in the kitchen. I would make sure that I kept it away from.
Well,
the
that's
kitchen.
nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
I didn't want.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get.
Blowing smoke on the fries.
I didn't want to get ash in the roast beef pot.
But that was when.
What gives it that zip?
Yeah, exactly. There's a tang to this. That's when we started coming here more often. Was when you guys stopped the smoking. I did not like.
Oh
that,
no, of course.
I'm like one of the typical girls. I was like, I don't want this smoke.
Yeah.
And then we started coming in, and then the gumbo and the sandwiches. We were like, it's been like my favorite place for gumbo.
We brought on the gumbo because we got rid of smoking.
You guys didn't have gumbo before that.
And I told my mom, I was like, so what happened was I came in one day with my mother, and it was during, I think maybe we'd been closed for 2 or 3 months or something like that, maybe 2. Yeah. And they had some kind of limited visitation worked out with the ordinance, and my mom comes in and she just goes. My mom will just tell you exactly what she's thinking. I mean, it's almost like a superpower.
That's amazing.
And she comes and she goes, "It's nice in here." And I just thought to myself, I was like, because it was a battle of attrition at that point. We were losing a lot of the college, the female college scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just thought to myself, I was like, well, yes, it is nice in here. Let's just do it. And then what's also really great is my mother doesn't like, once my mother makes a decision, she doesn't like to back down. So even if I start, because I ruminate more, and I like to, and
it's a good decision.
One, I defer. I ask people's opinions,
yeah.
And of course, there's a lot of people that are like, "No, man, you can never do that." Like, Villager smoking. The Villager was the smokiest bar in Tennessee,
totally.
So people didn't want to just give it up. But
part of its charm.
But what makes my mom really great to be in business with is that if we make a decision together, she'll stick on it.
That's great.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So we just it was.
I think has it shifted?
Oh gosh.
So it's a big. Okay.
I think the revenue for the bar went up a third.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And then we add, like I said, the reason
I
was saying I told my mother, I was like, we need to add value because we're taking something away.
Yeah.
Because it was a double whammy. Chicks would come in and they'd be like, no liquor, and I'm like, and smoking, and then run out the door, and we started laughing about it at one point. The day shift got busier.
Give us the gumbo.
What was mythical about it got to the point where we'd miss out on like some of the college kids at night around 2019. But what was mythical was like the Jeopardy crew, because we would always put Jeopardy on, and it got to be where we'd have everyone who smoked in the neighborhood during happy hour just
puffing on cigarettes,
because they would rather be indoors chiefing cigarettes during happy hour than sitting on being somewhere where they can't smoke.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so we were the safe haven during the day for anyone that just got off of work or just didn't like being out. They had a significant other, so they weren't out late at night. So they would come in during the day and smoke a pack of cigarettes.
Well, the gumbo is a huge
like
improvement. Yeah. I love that gumbo. I was just thinking we would come in and not know about the gumbo. That's so interesting to me. I didn't know that was
a
new
addition. I built a whole new clientele off that gumbo.
That gumbo. We've gone to New Orleans and we're like, it's not as good as the Village gumbo.
Yeah.
That is like the most delicious gumbo.
We've been doing the sandwich since '92, and my dad would say that was like the sandwich got rave reviews in the beginning. Like that's the business was built on how popular the sandwich became.
And they're great too.
And my dad built that on like a slightly political event that happened with the marketing. His marketing slogan for the sandwich was "Best sandwich you'll ever eat with your pants on." Oh. And so he put that on a bus bench, and
that's hilarious.
He had it on a few bus benches in the city, and so like he drove by one of the benches one day and it wasn't on there, so he called up the public transit guy who does marketing, and he's like, "Why is my sign not up?" And the guy's like, "Well, this lady complained." And so there were writers who came to the bar, and so they all started doing editorials about it, and so it was a big thing. And my dad got
publicity is good publicity.
My dad got his signs back. My dad actually doesn't believe that. I'll have to ask him about him. He does believe there's bad publicity.
Oh,
I didn't think he would say that, but he did. But
surprises me.
Yeah.
He got his signs back on the benches, and because they had turned into such a maelstrom. And the sandwich was good, and the best compliment he said he would get was people would go to New Orleans and have a po' boy and then be like, "Yours is better."
Right.
Yeah.
That's you guys have got. That's absolutely right, and it's true. It's amazing. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, you always get turkey, don't you?
Yeah. No, I usually, when I first started coming here, I think the first time that I came here, that drunken night when Scotty and Sarah were working on, I did the combo. So I had the roast beef po' boy and then the gumbo that night, and then pretty much now kind of just exclusively the half turkey, and I love the sandwich. It's great.
I can never remember what. So we added like giving people chips with the sandwich.
Oh yeah.
I can never. I always remember people's beers. I can never remember what chips people get.
Yeah, I'm the Doritos man.
You can't. How rude, Andrew. Bartender are you?
It's something about chips. And Garth, aren't you from California too?
Yeah. Yeah. So I grew up in two Californians.
All right. Oh, but you're late in the mass move, and you were early.
Yes.
Phase 1, phase 3.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. I was born in Northern California, like 30 miles outside of Sacramento, heading towards Tahoe, and then
I hear Tahoe is beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Absolutely stunning.
It's beautiful.
One of the best places ever. Really, it's so gorgeous. I love Tahoe.
I just think about like being on like a rope swing and like going and like careening into some water or something.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Winter, it's beautiful. In the summer, it's like we used to go camping there as kids and stuff, and it is just like, it's a dream over there.
It's absolutely beautiful. See, I grew up in California and then went to school at Alabama and then kind of moved around. And then prior to here, I was living in western Wisconsin, like an hour and a half.
Oh, wait a second. Do you and Lucian talk about Wisconsin a lot?
Oh, yeah, no. So
Lucian's so Wisconsin, he'll be like, someone will order just bread, and he'll be like, man, that's...
Oh, yeah.
He's like, they're from the Midwest. He just ordered only bread.
Oh, yeah, that's... So, yeah, I lived in Eau Claire, and where Lucian actually went to school, Menominee was like 30 miles up I-94, but, yeah, he's a classic Wisconsinite through and through, and then, I don't know, I lived in this town called Eau Claire, and only a population of 60,000 people, roughly, and... It was like
what did you do there?
So I worked in property casualty insurance, one of the worst jobs I've ever had. Never want to work in insurance again. Like it was people like screaming and cussing me out, telling me on the phone to go fuck off, and
like nonstop.
That would be.
Yo, you have a good day.
So I did that, and then, but yeah, this town like. Only population of 60,000, but it was like it's in the top 10 per capita for the most consumption of alcohol.
I was about to say
in the U.S. more than New York City in a town of 60,000 people.
I believe it, man.
And you lived there. Garth lived there.
That's all there's to do is.
Oh yeah, you're right. Pretty much drink. Yeah.
So Yeah, so like I was gonna ask, do they? Because people say that northern Midwesterners drink different, and I was gonna ask you if they do, and you just confirmed that.
Oh yeah, no, they drink. I mean, there was this one guy, I forget his name, at the bar I used to go to, and this guy would like race through a pitcher of Long Island iced tea, and then he'd get like a pitcher of like a full thing of that.
Next on the menu.
and then he'd hop in his like truck and go home.
It's crazy.
But this dude would only be in the bar maybe for about like 30 minutes. He was a very fast drinker, and then he'd slam the cash on the bar and then go home. And he wasn't never there very long, but he could drink really fast.
Wow.
So he literally was like, I just want to get so drunk
and
then just go home. Like, it wasn't even a social thing.
Maybe he worked in insurance.
Yeah, maybe he did work in comedy insurance, but yeah, they only so they only charge him like $10 for all that alcohol. Nice. It's Wisconsin, and he throws a 20 on the bar, and then
they're
goes
like,
home.
shoot, if I charge charge him half, I'll get the other half. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I could just see this guy coming home from work and be like, wait, I've got to maintain my reputation. Let me go over here.
What am I doing? Why am I going home? I'm sober.
I can't always a pitcher of Long Island.
That's
like,
a lot of alcohol.
That doesn't seem legal to me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
No, I remember when I lived there for about a year with my dad's best friend, who's no longer around. We went ice fishing, and it was like minus 15 out. It was so cold. We're just like sitting there, and I asked like, why do you
guys?
You
were hammered, right? Like you had to be drinking for that.
No, you're drinking. Yeah, the friend Al comes down in his UTV, and he says you can't say you've been drinking all day unless you start early. So he pours me some like a double of Jack Daniels, and here we go. And then we're out there. It's like you drop in the auger, and it's basically like watching like paint dry. It's not very exciting. And
you do it just to drink outside.
And I'll show you a video after we wrap the podcast to me with drilling with the auger. But I'm like, why do you come out here? Like it's just to get away from our wives.
Yeah, exactly. If we tell them we're fishing,
that's sad.
Yeah, honey, we're gonna go get food.
Yeah.
To bring back. We're gonna go get food. We're actually getting.
Did you catch
hammered.
some fish?
So they have these little fish. They're called crappies. After a few too many drinks, I called it a crappie, and my dad's buddy Ed, the larger guy, he falls on the ice, just started laughing. But yeah, they're like these little fish called crappies.
That's right, you're part crappie.
Actually, I was gonna do a sequel, and I was gonna do like a park scene, and then have a sign in wood carved in it that said "Park Crappie" with a little fish this time.
Oh yeah.
And so here you are talking about it, and now I have to do it.
It's a sign.
It is a sign. It's a Park Crappie sign.
Park Crappie.
Park Crappie sign.
Oh yeah. So I mean, did that, and then we caught a couple of fish, but like just threw them back, and then. Yeah, and then my dad's buddy hopped in the Ford, and he dropped me off at home. But I was out there for like 4.5 hours, just freezing my ass off. It was when it hits below zero, it's too cold to wear flip flops.
Yeah, I was about to say.
True.
Because I mean, is the flip flop something that's always been part of your style?
I think it's always been the California. I mean, even like when I lived in Wisconsin, even like once it hit,
you did as much as you possibly could.
I remember like, let's see, it was the end of January to late February in Eau Claire. Every day it was below zero, and I remember when it got up to like 20 degrees, I felt like it was warm. I like wore like shorts and flip flops because it was so cold.
Well, I mean, you know what? I lived in Chicago. I mean, that you did do that. Like 20, anything above 20 degrees, you could go outside and do cartwheels. You're so happy that it was warm again.
It's amazing what your body can get used to. Seriously, because even now it's like, the sun's out. It's like 30, 40s today.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's not bad. I mean,
that's balmy.
Yeah.
How long are you in Chicago, Brennan?
Oh man, I was there.
Oh my gosh, hearing the Chicago stories, it's true.
I was there for 11 years, and when I first moved there, and I haven't told this on the podcast. When I first moved there, I lived near like an old family friend that we hadn't been in contact with for years. I was in the Gold Coast. I was right off of the main drag there, Lakeshore Drive, the Magnificent Mile.
Oh, that's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it was great, especially in like April through September. But I moved there right before the worst blizzard they'd had since
Oh, wow.
1968.
Whoa.
And what happened was the winds were coming at 70 miles an hour, and they pushed Lake Michigan. The waves came up over this huge, they have a concrete beach, and then they have two sandy beaches, North Beach and Oak Street Beach. And the waves came like maybe 200 yards to 2 football fields over and onto Lakeshore Drive. And for some reason, it was during the evening commute home, and everybody was trying to leave early, and they took Lakeshore Drive instead of the Dan Ryan. I don't know why. And so they're all on Lakeshore Drive, and these waves came over, and they landed on top of the cars and froze, and people were trapped in their cars,
wow. That's
and
insane.
several died. And it was, and I was 2 blocks from that.
Like an apocalyptic event.
It was. And I'm Southern, so I'm like, I'm going to go out and try to help these people. I go out there. I did not know how bad the winter was. I go out there, and 70-mile-an-hour snow like hits your eyeballs, and you can't see. It hurts so bad. And I wound up having to make like a detour and go 3 blocks out of my way just to come back to the lobby. My doorman was like, you don't want to go out there. And I'm like,
yeah, people are dying.
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, man, we got to help, you know. And he was like,
did you see that in Detroit recently? I guess there was a flooding that happened, and then it just froze, and everybody's cars are just in the exact same thing that you're saying, and they're stuck, and it's all frozen. Now, luckily, I think they're in their houses and stuff, and they're okay. But I've never seen anything like that, where it's like 5 feet up, and it's just solid as a rock, and the cars are just stuck there.
Another reason to move there.
I just am like, going from California, this is as cold as I can take it. I don't know how people can handle that. That is insane.
Yeah. So actually, so like how do you guys like the Nashville weather? Is that like
it's amazing.
That's great. I mean,
you like having
never
all the
a dull
seasons?
moment.
I know,
Never a dull moment.
You're right. Yeah, I don't know. Like that was like
it snowed the other day. I had no idea it was going to snow.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, I'm like one of those old people now that like pay attention to the weather.
You're
like, what's happening now?
Well, now you can just look at your phone. You can
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, Garth, you were
yeah.
Oh no, you're right. Like like I remember going to Alabama, starting there. Like I grew up in Northern California. In the summer, it is a very dry, hot heat, and then going to Alabama, so I've been starting school in for that fall semester. Just you're like dripping sweat. I'd never had that before. Like taking like 3 showers in a day. So, but yeah, no, I just have to say like living in the South, probably my like favorite times as far as weather goes. Like on a beautiful fall day, there's nothing like it here in Nashville. Like
it's true. Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
October and September are really great.
They are nice.
Best.
Yeah. Halloween time's really good over here. Sometimes October does get too cold that it's not as good.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've had that, though.
Because, I mean, even November's been pretty nice now.
It's
I
true.
feel like
it
used to get, like, really cold in November.
Yeah.
Now I feel like it's, like, lasting.
Yeah, it's milder.
It's milder, but then December it seems to be getting colder or something. Like
and then we
stuff.
kind of have 2 tornado seasons instead of just one. So it's like December, you get scared before Christmas.
That's something that has shifted. We're becoming, I feel like, a little bit of an alley, like, for the tornadoes, and that's bumming me out.
Now, I've been told, like, and I don't know if I'm wrong, but like that's a current development since like late 90s.
Oh wow!
Right, like
the tornadoes.
Tornado Alley. Like I've heard that we have recently become a part of Tornado Alley in the past.
I think it's been like the last 5-10 years. I don't know, like because when I first moved out here, it would happen, but it was very far off, and like it wasn't hitting.
Well, so in 1998 was the first. I think I was 11. So I remember that one because we were in school and
Is that the one that hit downtown?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember always hearing that. That was like this, like, oh, it hit downtown that one time.
That was a pretty big. That was a really big tornado. And then, gosh, I don't know, because I didn't live in town for like 8 years. But then another one happened right before COVID, and that was a pretty big deal. Like literally, the tornado hit, and then COVID happened like weeks later.
I know.
Yeah.
That's right. That was like the east on the east side.
I couldn't imagine being. I couldn't imagine being a business that got hit by that tornado, and then COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
No, those tornadoes scare me. Like growing up in California, we have earthquakes.
Yeah.
We have fires.
Mudslides.
Whatever.
Don't forget.
Mudslide. All these things.
Monsoons.
But those tornadoes. Oh gosh, they freak me out, and they happen so often. It's like I really don't like the tornadoes.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I can't recall how close I've ever been to a tornado.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
I've never seen one. Yeah, I've never seen one.
Seen them.
Have you?
Yep.
Yeah, I've never been that close
Yeah.
to one, thankfully. But yeah, there's that. They sound frightening. Like to hear that kind of noise coming at you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There was some kind of really heavy gust that happened right next when I was living out in Hermitage. I just moved, but there was some heavy gust that literally took down like many limbs on the tree behind my house. And, and took down one smaller tree.
Wow.
And it happened during, I can't remember if it happened during when the larger tornado happened or like when there was a tornado watch or something, but it was bizarre. I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But no, it is beautiful. We do have the seasons here,
Yeah.
you know, and I do appreciate that. And growing up in California, it is like very one season vibe, especially Southern California. You know, it's like it cools some, but it never really shifts. And
But the humidity's not terrible there, right?
there's like no humidity.
Only
It's the opposite.
In the valley, right? In the
valley. That's where I grew up. Is the San Fernando Valley, and it gets very, very hot in the summer. So you're still like avoiding being outside. You know, it's like humid here, but it's like you just want to get out. It's like 110 degrees in the valley in summertime. But I do love the smell of the air. You could feel the shift happening in each season, and you get like, this is happening now, and it's nice to have that change.
Right.
And it's nice that it's only usually like 3 months, tops.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's not forever.
Right.
So I've grown to really enjoy it, but it's definitely, something to get used to. But
the trick is to have traditions
Yeah.
to get you through the tougher
He learned this.
seasons.
You learned this in Chicago.
I did.
Yeah, oh, yes, I could see that in Chicago, especially.
yeah.
What were your traditions?
Okay, so what I did in Chicago.
Involved drinking, I'm sure.
In the matter
Game
of
in
speaking.
which season?
I created a media company up there, and I would get media passes to all of the cool things to do in Chicago. And my friends and I would dress up in suits every February 15th or through the 17th and go to the Chicago Auto Show as media personnel.
Oh yeah, a friend of his just like reminded him of this the other day.
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. He said I finally went to the auto show as a normal person, not having gone since I've known Brennan
As a media stunt.
and he was like, it was like spending a lifetime flying on a private jet and suddenly being asked to sit with a family of 5 and coach on Frontier.
Totally. Oh my gosh.
But we used to go, and it was only be like 30 of us in media, and it was they've changed the show. A lot of people aren't auto enthusiasts like they once were due to the shift to EVs.
Right.
And but before that,
Wait. Shift to EVs. What do you mean, like?
Electric.
I don't know that much about cars.
Yeah,
oh,
so
like electric cars.
bike
electric
vehicles.
cars. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I grew up going to car shows with my dad. I love cars.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love all
Oh,
that
good.
stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Let's.
yeah.
I was talking with Jack about cars waiting to come in. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I drove the winter beater because there's still salt on the roads, and I'm like,
don't want to ruin. Yeah.
don't want to
yeah.
ruin a nice car. That's
Yeah.
why it's still nice. You
Yeah,
know? So
that is
yeah,
true,
that
yeah.
kind of- so we used to come to that, and Nissan was very gracious, and they would have. They would host media night the night before, and you would get a steak dinner, completely free,
Oh, wow.
and then open bar, and they would just encourage you to hang out. And so I'd bring all the friends. We go. We killed a 5th Suntory, just our table, and then had these amazing steaks at a really great steakhouse. And then
The food there is so good.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I mean,
I've never been to Chicago, but
well,
yeah.
we're talking about doing a trip.
Brandon
Maybe-
really wants to drag me to Chicago.
Yeah,
Oh,
That'll be fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
In the summer.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm being asked in March, which
Yeah,
suck.
What's the weather like in March?
It's a lot like here, unpredictable,
Okay.
but it's more intensified.
You know, I get the vibe. I get the vibe that because I haven't been to Chicago either. But like the vibe, I get the vibe from Brennan that the social life in Chicago is so just another thing.
Yeah.
Because he hit me up and he's like, dude, I just got asked to go to a dinner party, and we're like, it's like a weekend. We have a couple of podcasts we're doing.
Yeah.
And he just like was so down about it, and I was like, man, this dinner party stuff in Chicago must be real deal. Like, he's like, I don't get
That's
to get on a
cool.
plane and go to a dinner party, and I was like, man, this must be.
It's really good.
It is. So one of the same friends that we would do the Nissan night and then go the next day, and Infinity would actually have a bar cart full of high-end bourbon, Pappy Van Winkle, like all the things, right? And it's free, and you're just sitting there talking cars.
It's infinite.
Yes.
And you know,
I
was really knowledgeable. I wrote a couple articles for Car and Driver, and so I would just like pull factoids out of my ass when I was, because you know, you'd be talking with top brass from Nissan, or one time I had the head designer of Ford come talk to me about the Bullitt Mustang, and I was able to recite his quote back to him to his utter amazement, and mine as well.
Yeah, really.
You know,
that's so cool.
But in addition to that, we pulled another stunt. Justin, we actually drove a Ferrari into a restaurant in downtown Chicago. We got permission.
It's like Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, it was the Magnum PI Ferrari, and it was a Hawaiian restaurant. It was Roy's Hawaiian restaurant, and so we drove this Ferrari 308 into.
Oh yeah, you sent me the article for that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's still up on Car and Driver.
Awesome.
Went viral.
No, everybody make a wish. It's 11/11. Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Drink
Toast.
up. Yeah.
Like, hey, here we go, Garth. Toast it
Cheers.
out. All right, let's do it.
Anyway, the article, like the infamous article. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I like took all these photos of it. We brought it in on a flatbed. We rented it from Volo Auto Museum or something, which you might recall from living in Wisconsin. It's, so anyway, it came down on a flatbed, and you know, it's just weird to see a car like 12 feet in the air that's, you know,
That's
worth
wild.
more than you, and then have it like come
Being
down,
praised.
driving on the sidewalk. So I sent a picture to the editor of Car and Driver at the time, Eddie Alterman, who's like a big time VP at Hearst now. But anyway, he saw it and he was like, I want to do this story. And I'm like, of course you do. I mean,
why wouldn't you not?
you used to
That's
work at
why
Maxim. I know what headlines are like.
Yes, it's where it came.
Yeah. And so we did the story, and but basically we had the coolest Magnum PI birthday party ever. And then on its 10 year,
awesome, Magnum PI.
yeah. Like we had grass huts brought in,
So
and people
fun.
wearing Hawaiian shirts. We had every cast member represented as a likeness, and then as a place setting, there were miniature and equally as collectible Ferrari 308s on each table.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was extensive, like what the thoroughness and of detail.
Wow.
And so, on its 10th anniversary of performing the stunt, my friend Matt, whom
Wait,
you've
it's
met.
the same stunt for 10 years, right?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah. So on the 10th anniversary, my friend Matt flies to Hawaii and goes to the birthday party of Roy,
Oh, wow.
the chef.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Who never even visited his restaurant in Chicago, but because he's got like 35.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of them,
Yeah, and so anyway, he's in line to a reception line to wish him happy birthday, and he was like, "Hey, I want to show you this. My friends parked a Ferrari in your restaurant in Chicago."
That's amazing.
We got a picture of him doing a double take, and he was like, "That's a pretty good stunt."
And I think
I love it.
if I recall, I think this came up one day we were talking, and I think didn't you bring up like renting a car to like put in front of the bar or something like that?
Yeah, for here.
Yeah. Because because I got
You
I'm
should.
all into like really crazy event ideas, and Brandon was like said, and then he sent me this, and I was like, "Did you put a car in there?" Like,
I did.
That's always the thing in LA. They always park all those fancy cars at
Oh,
all
yeah.
the clubs and all that stuff. Yeah, you should start doing that here. That's amazing.
I think the only place I could think of that would do that as like, it's not a gag or not something that just seems eccentric would be like, remember Planet Hollywoods?
Yeah.
You remember those? Those are gone now,
yeah.
but they used to have one in downtown Nashville before downtown Nashville was meant anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And they would have all their memorabilia.
Totally.
But when I saw this, that's what it reminded me of, like something you would see at Planet Hollywood.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
We've got the Ghostbusters car here.
A prop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
We were just talking earlier, like, there's this high-end clothing store in 12 South called Buck Mason that Allison's good friend started, but in the store they have this badass Porsche.
Yeah.
And you just see it when you're walking up the street, and
Yeah, one of the owners, he loves classic cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's his thing, is putting those Porsches in that
yeah.
store.
Oh,
And you're
shoot,
right,
I need to link him up with Brennan before I die.
Yeah, seriously. Those cars are gorgeous. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You're like,
Yeah,
hello.
it really is kind of a cultural beacon too. When you see it
Yeah.
housed in there, I sent a picture of that car to my Chicago friends, and I'm like,
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we need to have this kind of culture here. I think we can make this happen. Like,
Yeah. I like
someone's
that.
already done it.
Cars are gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, especially these, classic ones are just like outrageous. It's like you think about it now, like what are these cars going to be like, back in the olden days? It's just like,
Yeah.
Well, cars have
not-
become such a statement, like like for marketing. I mean, like
Yeah.
like anything. It's like
Yeah.
it's like someone sees like a cool or pretty car, and they're just like It's like seeing a pretty horse or something like back in the day. Probably.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like interesting when Cuba, how they kept all those cars from the 50s, so everybody they never got new cars. I don't know if you're like aware of that, but it's really
I just
fascinating.
know in econ class when I was in high school, they used to always talk about the Yugo. And how awful the Yugo was.
I don't know. I don't even know about the Yugo.
They're bringing it back.
But but anyway, it's
back.
like a time capsule, I guess, in Cuba. People driving around with these gorgeous old 50s classic
Yeah,
cars
yeah.
everywhere.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
you see it in all the movies. And
Yes,
stuff. Yeah. And,
yeah.
and it's like it takes you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I'm like,
does.
I want to drive around like that.
Yeah.
Those cars were just a masterpiece.
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
you
beautiful.
can never tell what year it really is whenever you see like
Right.
like a
Yeah,
something
like-
like in a movie or TV.
yeah.
You're like, what year is this? You never
Right,
know.
Yeah.
exactly.
The cars are such a statement. It
They
tells
are.
you when it dates the place.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's up there with architecture, if not more so.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, the future is
'cause-
everybody just a car driving itself, and that'll be a
Yeah,
very
'cause
different
it's like
thing.
because with architecture, you can still see old buildings around, or
Yeah.
you don't know that. Yeah, there might be a history or a story to the city, but with cars, the cars change no matter what.
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely. You have to.
Yeah, they don't last that long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because of the Chevy model. Mm-hmm. So in order to beat Ford at its own game, because Ford dominated for about 20 to 30 years, Harley Earl and the designers at Chevy brought out a new model every year. Mm-hmm. And when they did that, they created desire. And so people are like, I have to have that new model. And so
the trim packages.
So that's why there was emphasis on design. And
Wow.
it went away for a number of reasons, but largely because by the mid to late 70s, auto theft was such a rampant issue that they just kind of dialed back that emphasis on it. Because, like the film Gone in 60 Seconds isn't about a car taking off and going fast within 60 seconds. It's about a car getting stolen in that amount of time. Mm-hmm. And that was a real warning to citizens. It's like, lock your doors because your car could be stolen in 60 seconds.
Wow.
So that's how that came about, and that's why it went away.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and also I want to hinge on that by saying a long time ago I had an art installation across the street called Atari Party, and I actually brought Atari 2600s at the bar, and we played them at 3 different locations.
That's so cool.
And then I had all of this work up, but in order to signal to people that something unusual is happening, I parked my '66 Mustang in front of the door of Jackson's and put a police siren on top of it, and it brought a ton of people. So I'm going to manifest this.
Cars are a thing, man. They really are.
My goal.
Atari. Where's the Atari?
Right,
I want to bring that in here.
All right, we'll
that's
bring it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I always love about this bar, because it feels very nostalgic.
Yes,
It's got an 80s
it is.
feel to me, and
Yeah.
that's when I grew up, is in the 80s, and just even hearing that, you got the Jeopardy on, and it's just, I love that, and the jukebox.
My
and you
jukebox
listen to
people-
Billy Joel. I love the jukebox with Billy Joel.
My
It's
jukebox people hate that I have that jukebox because
Why?
Well, because it's so hard to get parts now, and they're like, and every time I see them, the conversation comes up like,
'Cause it's break-
you'll make more money. We don't really want like that. They'll just.
Oh, I see.
And I'm not trying to slander the guys; they're friends of mine. But like it's a hassle.
Yeah.
And I just look at them. I'm like, guys, I'm not getting rid of Grandma.
Yeah, it's
Like-
true.
Yeah.
It's,
That's true.
There's a charm to that.
Yeah,
for
there
sure.
is. I mean,
And
it's
and she's and it's also it helps that she matches. Like she's a
Yeah.
really great furniture piece for the place too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's
absolutely.
really cool. I
But
love that.
nostalgia sells. People bring people back to you're I always I think more about hypnosis in a way. Like when people are hypnotized to feel it, like to change their perspective.
Right.
And something like an old jukebox does that. An old car does that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so important.
And I think
aesthetic is everything.
That's
Absolutely.
the appeal to this place. I think people are kind of looking for authenticity.
Absolutely.
We're out of touch because we've got all these devices on our person at all times. And so when you come in and interact with someone who displays wisdom and knowledgeability without referencing a device, you're like, whoa, hey, there's something to this thing called life. And the Villager does that very well. I mean, that's why you two are perfect guests. I mean, Allison, I just met you. Of course, Garth, you and I are pals, but it's like we met right here at this bar.
Right here at the bar. You're right about that. I mean, and what I like about this place too, it's fits that whole vibe, but it's not a corporation. Like, I've been to this bar. I mean, you've probably been there too. Shulman's Tavern in East Nashville. It's very cool and trendy, but I didn't know how much FU money is behind that bar. It feels more.
I'm not gonna lie, the Millers have some money. Yeah.
It feels like kind of more of like a corporation, and it's a cool place. The only thing that ticks me off is that having to drink beer out of a bottle. They don't have any draft beer.
Oh, they don't have any draft beer?
I know, so that kind of like ticks me off. And of course, they don't have pitchers.
They've got. They also own Skulls. I work at Skulls. So
so they own
I know
Skulls
Blake.
Rainbow Room. Okay.
So that's Blake Miller's baby.
Oh wow.
I know Blake personally. He's a cool guy. We're friends.
Very cool.
I told him when he bought that location, I was like, dude, you're gonna. And it just
it's cleaning up.
I mean, it's just.
I gotta check that place out.
It's a cash cow.
Because I love Skulls.
Oh,
if it's anything like
it's
that.
very good.
So they didn't. Someone else had reinvigorated Skulls. They bought the old business and did like a reimagining of it, which is really fantastic. And then the Millers came along and they really liked it, so they bought out the majority owner, the silent owner. They bought him out, and the guys who remodeled it and brought the business back, the operating partners have left and done other stuff. But Blake wanted to have his own like place, and Shulman's was he knew he wanted to have a bar, and I was just like I just told him, I was like, you're going to be in it all the time.
Oh, totally.
And it's like,
it's like, whew.
Well, I mean, it's
a lot of work.
Well, I mean, it's the Villager's very addictive, but so they set it up, and I'm impressed. They were the first people I've seen in town to do the patio, like the enclosed patio smoking area.
Oh, it's genius.
Yeah, it really was, and it separated them immediately.
Okay.
Because the young kids that hang out East Nashville can go and smoke a pack of cigarettes and drink.
Yeah.
And be within heaters.
Right.
Yeah. You know, and just because the walls on either side have they've got holes in them, so it's technically a patio.
Cool.
I guess it's not insulated.
Right.
It works.
Oh, I mean, it works like the whole setup. You can just like the whole design aspect too.
And it's also very beautiful. That patio is very.
The patio is very beautiful, and like this, how much time and effort you can you're sitting in these booths, but the upholstery, it's all perfect. They have the old style chandeliers, but the whole setup, they really, really thought it well out, and I admire it's a simple menu. They have a really badass cheeseburger that's really good.
Yeah, they have a bologna sandwich too.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
And that what is it? The not a panini, pastrami.
Oh my god, maybe that's one thing.
Yeah.
No, the bologna sandwich is Robert's, but Brandon really loves the. What was he call it? Brewiana signs.
Yeah. Breweriana.
Yeah, they were the first people to now because you see Ernie's has that too now, which is a new bar that opened up, really big place. They've got those too, but Shulman's was the first people to really bring all that nostalgic signage back.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing in there.
I'm
absolutely.
so excited to check this.
Oh yeah,
I gotta go.
Garth, you must bring Allison.
I gotta go.
Let's all go.
We'll go after this.
Get a sandwich.
It's a cool place.
Hey Jack, you want to go to Shulman's?
Yeah, no, it's a really cool place. I think really they put a lot of effort into it, and they've attracted the type of people that are really interested in that type of place. And you're right, it's like bringing nostalgia back, and it's really cool. And I see them being around for a long time. Yeah,
and the reason I brought that up was the Skulls doesn't have draft beer either. I think they decided at some point to just they did before.
I hear you.
And they decided not to have it. So
Well,
probably
it's probably more cocktails, isn't it?
The whole thing is if you have liquor, you're making most of your money off of liquor anyway.
Yeah.
So beer is just like, oh, well, we have to have beer at that point. But to not have the draft lines is kind of, I bet their experience, maybe they decided not to have, what probably happens, they decided not to have keep draft at Skulls. And then when they went to go open Shulman's, they probably just made the executive decision not to bring it in on board at
they've
all.
already been doing that. They're like, why do that?
Yeah. Well, let's just keep it the way we're doing it over there. And so you might. I've heard a lot of places downtown because they also own Nudies. And I don't know how Nudies is, but it's called Icon. But anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's. They learned that from downtown because I've heard that downtown bars don't have draft beer. It's all bottled beer.
It's all bottled beer. Like, so you're right. Like, I mean, the exception.
Because kegs are a hassle. They really are.
Right, and they blow out. And
cheers to draft beer at the Village.
Cheers to draft beer at the Village.
If you don't already know, we sell a lot of draft Shinerbock.
Cheers.
Yay, perfect. I love it. Cheers.
Yeah, Lloyd Kaufman.
But yeah, no, I think, I mean, but yeah, it's just like crazy. I mean, I've been here like 3 years, but like just like how like, I mean, like Broadway on like a Saturday night is just insane. I mean, with just all these like people wanting to come to visit Nashville, and it's crazy. I mean, besides like living in Knoxville, I mean, you've just seen like such a shift, and I mean, it's crazy what this town is now and the growth and how many people want to come here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the growth. It really is. I mean, it's at the point where I'm like, man, we can do a podcast and say we're in Nashville and people will care.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that may not have taken place earlier if we decided to do it like in 2006.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I had a Californian girlfriend in 2006 who bought a house, and I wonder if you were her agent.
Like, where's this going? Like,
where is she at now?
Yeah, where is this
What is she doing?
Do you know that California girl? Yeah. No, I wasn't doing real estate then. I was in the band. I was a struggling musician.
We've only got a few more minutes left, but I want to hear more about your music, Allison.
Gosh.
Yeah.
We're putting you on the spot.
I know.
Yeah.
So
I've had enough beer. Let's do it.
Exactly. It was just my sisters and I were the Lowry sisters.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes. And we came out here. We were doing a ton of shows out in LA. And we'd play like the Whiskey and all this stuff, and but we were doing like country music.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, you really should be in Nashville for that. And my dad had a recording studio out in LA. He was an engineer and a musician, fantastic musician.
Yeah.
And he kind of wanted to try it out in Nashville, and he got a studio out. I think it was like, is it Sound? What is the place here? Soundstage? It's not Soundstage. I think that's in LA, but I can't remember. There's one of the studios out here. He had a room for a while. So we all moved out here at one point.
Nice.
And my sisters and I were doing music for a long time. We played for the troops overseas. And
oh, wow. So you traveled.
Yeah, we traveled. We did lots of festivals. We, had our music, some of our music in some TV movies. And we were, played the basement here a ton. And like, we just had it was like Americana psychedelic country kind of a thing as our music kind of got into.
I can't wait to hear it. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're a very good musician, and
so you are too. Apparently, I did not know this.
So we did it for years. I mean, I've been singing since I was a kid. And I was a theater major and went to Cal State Northridge, and very California girl. So
Garth, your instincts for your co-guest is spot on.
Thanks for that.
You got a theater girl here.
He's a smart guy.
Oh, I love that.
Garth.
There's our thumbnail.
Right he's the sweetest. So anyway, we did it for a really long time. We loved it. It was great. But I mean, as you know, very close to your brother.
Oh, yes.
And it was two other sisters, 3 girls in a band together.
Oh, yeah.
So
it must have been like serene.
It was intense. Yeah, exactly. Serene.
Like calm water flowing.
And we were at that time when we moved out here, we were very connected. My sisters and I were like, worked together, did music together, lived together. And for a long time, we were just like the sisters. Like everywhere I went, where's your sister? Where's your sister? It was like, oh, the sisters are here. It was intense. And like when we lived in LA, it wasn't like that. We all had our own lives. But when we came here, it was like
because
this
it was more
crazy,
music-centric.
Yeah, and we were just out here doing this together. We didn't have any. It was like we were meeting all of our friends the same way. Like we were just really immersed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when
smaller. I mean, when
I went to college, Toby ended up dropping out. Like we were 2 years in. We both went to UT, and I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Big Orange. Big Orange Country.
That's right.
But me and Brendan both went to Tennessee, Knoxville. Anyway, so and I'll never forget living without my brother for like, I think it was like 6 years.
Right.
And people didn't even call me Andrew. Okay, they called me, our last name is Perot, and they would just call me, because I had these roommates they had about, and I've probably told so many people this, I had these roommates that had 3 other friends named Andrew.
Oh, no.
So one of them would be over at the house, and so we'd all go by our last names. There was like Powers, Caldwell, Riley, and then my last name is Perot. So people just started calling me Perot all the time, and I was like, "This is so weird," because I was a twin. I never experienced anything like that.
You can't be called Perot. You're just like, what's Perot? What are you talking about?
We were to people. People probably thought of us that way. We were just this amorphous blob of 2 people.
Yes.
And but it felt like I was living this life everyone else knew existed, and then and then I come back home to play music with Toby, and then eventually got, the bars started becoming the thing, and we both kind of got out of music eventually, and we're still involved with music, but the bar has become more important than I thought it was ever going to become. And so now it's like, it's not even just me and Toby, it's me, Toby, and Mom.
Now it's
like, now my
Three's Company, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people, so how's working with your mom like? I'm like, well, you're not going to know, so let me tell you.
And our dad was very involved with our band, and he played with us. He's a great guitar player, and we did all the recording with my dad, and he knew all the best musicians in LA, and so it was very immersed, and in so many ways it was amazing. It's like my dad passed away about 3 years ago, and we were so close to my dad, and we had such amazing times with him through music and our bonding and everything. But there is a point where it is nice to we have our own lives now. So anyway, we had a great run, and we did a lot of great things, and music will always be in my heart. As you know, once you're a musician, it's just one of those things. It's just, do you want to deal with the business side of it?
When I told someone I was retiring, and I said, I'm going to stop playing altogether, I'm going to run the bar, and that's it. And they looked at me, and they said, and more than one musician said this, or whoever, and they were like, you're not going to stop playing.
Never.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I haven't. You
shouldn't ever stop playing.
No, it hurts my soul to hear it every time.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful thing to be able to do. Music is so powerful. It's amazing.
What I tell people is retiring from music means one thing. I don't play for free anymore.
There you go. Or it's for yourself.
Right.
Well, no, I just don't. I'm a bass player. You can't get me to play for free.
I know, and I don't know why musicians, we've morphed into something where you are expected to do that for free. And unfortunately, it's a very tough thing, to put your foot down and be like, no, you need to pay me. Yeah. And unfortunately, Nashville, as much as I love it, they don't pay musicians very well.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was going to say,
this is a whole other podcast.
Well,
you want to get into it. I'm like, don't even get me started.
I wanted to open that worm.
I used to go to Vegas a lot more than I do now, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't gamble, but I like to have fun.
There's a lot to do in Vegas.
And I befriended all the lobby bands out there, and at the different hotels, and I ran into this 9-piece band with a horn section.
Wow.
And started making the right requests that got them a crowd, because I think it's intrinsic as a Nashvilleian. You sort of have a knack for entertainment value.
Yeah.
Even if you don't elect to be an entertainer yourself. And so I was like, guys, you've got all this talent, all these resources right here. You're going to have to split a check 9 different ways.
Yes.
Might as well get more tips. So I was like, play some Stevie Wonder.
Right.
And,
let's get some covers in there.
So they did, and they wound up buying me a drink afterwards, and they were like, yeah, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Nashville. I was like, oh, no wonder you knew what songs to request.
Yeah.
And and they were like, we used to play Nashville, and the thing you do is get a gig on Broadway, work for peanuts, and then get the F out, come to Vegas, and say you played Nashville.
Oh, exactly. I've got a lot of.
Right.
I met a lot of Vegas musicians who moved here because of COVID, but I've met more musicians that I've worked with. There's 2 places, Vegas and New York. There's a lot of you can get a touring gig out of Vegas, but there's a lot of show stuff. I mean, people really do. It's one of the people. It's a secret. Like it's one of the. It's like people don't really talk about it because they don't want to say like I feel like musicians don't want to tell their friends they're moving to Vegas to work, but there is work there.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm sure.
And they pay.
And they pay. That's the thing.
And that's the thing is you already know the deal. You're not going there to get a record deal.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
You're going there to perform.
My sisters and I did a gig. I can't remember. It's one of the cities by there. It's like Laughlin, I guess. Is that?
Laughlin, Nevada.
Laughlin, Nevada.
Like
yeah. We got hired to do like a week-long residency, and it was it was so bizarre. Like waking up every day, we played for like 3 hours, all covers, and you've got like people gambling right in front of you, sitting there while you're singing, and this lady like pops up screaming she won, and I'm like singing, and I'm like, great, and she's like, ah! You know, going nuts. I'm like, God. And it's just like like Groundhog Day. You just wake up, it's the same thing over, and you just wake up at this hotel. I mean, it was only a week, but it felt very like, I don't know, it was weird. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. It just felt so.
To have a routine.
This routine,
the
getting up
boat
at 3 hours and like, what's that?
The cruise boat.
It's like exactly. Like I can see it being
resort
fun
gig,
for a
resort
minute.
gig.
Yeah, but after a while, it's just like, I don't know. It's like an office job or something.
I know people that play the boats, and what they do is they meet their wife and they get off.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Oh, they meet somebody.
They meet their wife,
that's funny,
or their husband, whatever.
Yeah.
And their husband and their husband and wife is never a musician. It's always someone that works like in house, something else.
Yeah.
And they meet each other and they go, "My dream is to get off this boat," and they're like, "Mine is too," and they get off the boat. Where do you want to go?
It starts as a dream, and then it gets like, "Get me off this thing." Yeah. There's something about like The Shining. It just gets like this repetitive, like over and over. And you're like,
I mean, I know I run a bar, but like you can really just lose time and your health on a boat,
right?
And drinking, partying, like you know.
I mean, it's that would be so fun for like 6 months. I would.
Let's
go, live it up, travel.
But it's like, you know, when you're in music and it's like if you're not centralized in a town, you just the work in the town passes you by, or the immediate work from your friends passes you by while you're out there doing that.
Oh yeah.
And those contracts, once they're up, they have no reason to hire you back.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no loyalty in that. You know?
No. I mean, that's the thing. If you're looking to make money as a musician, you do have to do stuff like that. And if that's what you want to live off of, you have to play covers and you have to do all this stuff.
I just would never advise doing it like full. I would have my regular in-town work.
Yeah.
You know, and then or like with your people.
Yeah.
And then like, hey guys, I'm taking my my money run for like the quarter or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and they find they call up your sub and they they do you trust them.
Yeah.
And then you come back.
Yeah.
You know, and
well, I'm glad you're playing still.
Oh, I'm glad about it too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
So you're still playing over at Skulls? I
play on Fridays, and I think I'm supposed to play tonight.
Yeah.
I play with one lady when my friend Jan. She's from Scotland. She's amazing. She's the best performer I've ever played.
That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
And
it's all jazz, right?
Jan has single-handedly made me more money than
really?
than my mother will beat her. And my mom and dad have made me more money than her, but yes. Jan is the third. And she's in town tonight. She flies in from Sarasota, where she just recently moved with her daughter.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And she does a double. She does Friday and Saturdays at Skulls, but she was the person who got me over there.
Wow.
Love to meet her.
And she
I
played we used to do a weekly residency on Mondays with a 9-piece band I put together.
Cool.
It was a really cool gig. I really loved it. I really miss it. And
awesome.
I love being a band leader, even though I stopped doing it at a point. When I started running the bar, I stopped being a band leader.
It's a lot of work.
And she had me do a demo, and the bass player, who was their regular guy, didn't want to do it for free, and I at the time hadn't been playing music. I had actually legitimately kind of retired because I was so busy doing this and loving every second of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went and did the recording, and then I got a couple sub spots, and I told the guy, hey, if the guy's not, I'll take the gig.
Yeah.
And then, and so Skulls just grew and became more and more.
They're still doing burlesque and stuff?
They still do it because
Friday
now,
night,
and that's the thing is like, it's part of Icon now, and they're gonna keep that ship rolling for.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That location's amazing.
Yeah.
The concept's amazing. It's really.
I knew
unique. Because I grew up with my dad making something iconic. I just knew when I walked in the first time to that store how brilliant it was.
Yeah. It is so cool inside. I love that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It is
That's
nice.
awesome.
Well, anyway, I mean, you do real estate, Allison. You want to plug your
Well, not right now.
No.
I have a question
But
for
I
you.
can. Drees, I should plug them because they've been so incredible to me.
All right.
Drees Homes is who I worked for and work with. That's new construction. They build beautiful, beautiful homes. So anyway, Drees Homes, I'll say that, yes.
So Allison,
You hear that, Californians?
Yeah, oh,
right.
they know about Drees.
I used to be in entertainment in the time that you moved here for your singing career. I think I remember your act.
Do you?
Did you work with another legendary Californian who came here, Billy Block?
I did.
I thought
All
so.
right. Look at
Oh,
that.
Billy.
Yeah.
That'll bring me to tears.
Oh.
Billy was so incredible.
What happened to Billy?
He passed
He passed,
away.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he was very integral in bringing us out here.
He was a pioneer like no
was.
other. And he came from, I think, Northern
California. Yes, yeah.
And I was his editor.
No way.
Yeah,
This is so amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
He wrote a column called we called it Alt Country.
Yeah.
And he wrote a column for us at Music City News Magazine. And, I knew that he was flying in from California to play gigs out here and pioneer this whole alt country scene. And, but I was also I was kind of militant because we had a deadline and he would always be late with his stuff.
Right.
So we didn't get to party or have a good time. But he was great friends with everybody else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to. I had the hard job.
Yeah, right. Wait a minute, I want to go have some fun.
Yeah.
You're the Cyrano de Bergerac. You sat
Yes,
behind the scenes, like, all right, we're
exactly.
gonna not say that.
Yeah, he would play drums with us sometimes
Wow.
at some of the shows. He was such a supporter of us. He got us auditions for things. He was like, you guys are, he
Yeah.
was pushing us so much, and him and his family were just the sweetest. And yeah, he was the staple. It was amazing. He
Yeah.
was such a great person, and we all miss him so much.
Oh, yeah, Nashville
that is
misses
so
him.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were. It was like it was Billy Block something show, I guess. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it's like a something hour or something.
Yeah,
kinda
it had
like the
different,
Flower
he
Hour, yeah.
had different venues he would do it at and stuff.
Yeah, Exit
and-
In was a big
yeah,
one.
Exit In.
Yeah.
Cadillac Ranch.
Yes.
We did Cadillac Ranch,
Yes.
which is now, I don't even know what it's now.
So we featured you then.
Yeah,
I thought that was like,
yes.
that triggered, I was like, whoa,
triggering.
I know this.
Triggering.
Yeah, it's like, I know we featured you in at least one
Yeah.
publication. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
I love that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
All this
Yeah.
stuff I didn't know. But anyway,
No, see,
what a
this
treasure
is-
trove.
It was.
Yeah.
It's been so
Anyway,
great.
guys, this has been amazing. But we're gonna have to sign out now because I got to get the bar open.
That's right.
Kevin's
Time
waiting
for
for us.
work. Awesome. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank
That was
you.
awesome. That was
Fun.
fun.
I'm
Yes.
Andrew Perot. This is Brennan Sharp, Garth Barrick, and I'm
Allison
gonna.
Lowry.
Lowry.
Gonna butcher it. She already knows.
Lowry sisters.
Yeah.
And this has been Villager People signing out. Thanks, guys.
Charlie knows he's crazy, but he says he doesn't mind. He says he's gotten used to it. He says he likes it fine. He says this world would be so sad and dull, so cut and dry.